Hello everyone, I am the Shardy Guy, and I am back for the first time in flippin' forever for a new video. Okay, so, of course, Nico Hulkenberg recently lost his ride with Renault, and it's probably speculated that his time in F1 might have come to an end. So of course, for those who are unaware, Nico Hulkenberg holds an, a record. So this came to my mind when the announcement came out. I wonder if he has a record that he would like. The reason why I'm not saying straight away is because I am going to discuss it in the video, or during this video. How many other drivers have a Formula One record that they wouldn't really want? So yeah, this video is about Formula One records that people wouldn't want. So this video will be pretty much discussed in about 3-4 separate sections. There are lots of others Formula One records that I won't really discuss about because it's a little bit touchy on how I can really discuss them thoroughly-ish. So there'll be about roughly 19 records that I will talk about. So they mainly vary from, well, wins, poles, podiums, points, championships, and also some unusual records. I've only put in about three or four, maybe a few more, out there records. But there are quite a few others that I will not mention about. So, with these, I've used a very reliable source, Wikipedia, and also with a little bit of help of F1 stats with basically seeing how the difference is between the drivers and some others who are on the list. So the reason why I've taken some out is because, well, there's only one driver, I can't really discuss them. So yeah, let's get this video on the road. These will be F1 records that no driver will want. So, to start off, number 1, we got most races before first victory. So, this record belongs to Mark Webber, who did not get a race victory until his 130th race. Put that into Just think about that for a second. It takes you 130 races to get your first victory. Yeah, Mark Webber holds the record currently with the victory in his 130th race. The most recent driver to get on the list is Valtteri Bottas, who is equal 10th, who won in his 82nd race. So yeah, he's currently equal 10th with Eddie Irvine. So yeah, Mark Webber holds at least one record already for taking the longest time to win a race. Rubens Barrichello is second, for those wondering. He's second with 120, who didn't win till his 123rd race. Probably because of a small thing called Michael Schumacher, but that's a whole nother story. Jarno Trulli is third, who didn't win till his 119th race. Jenson Button didn't win till his 113th race. And then Nico Rosberg rounds out top 5, who didn't win till his 111th race. So next up, we got the races before getting their first pole position. And who would have thought? Mark Webber has this record as well. And not only does he have this record, he set that in 2 consecutive races. So in the race before, he got his first win. In the next race, he got his first pole position, which for those who can do basic math, 130 plus 1, 131. So in his 131st race, he got his first pole position. So, yeah, just imagine the commitment you would have to go through that long without getting a win or a pole, and then in consecutive races, you get both. You get a pole, you get a win one race, and the next race, you get your first pole. Yay! Yeah, so second on the list is Yano Trulli, who didn't get it to his 119th, which, if we look back to the so yeah, Yano Trulli, who's second on the list, he got his first pole and win in the exact same race. Imagine that if Mark Webber was able to do that. Oh well. So yeah, Yano Trulli is second on the list. Okay. I do apologize in advance for my pronunciation of this. Theory Botson got it. Is third. He didn't get it to his 115th race. Nico Rosberg didn't get to his 111th race. And then we got an equal fifth here of Daniel Ricciardo and Mika Hakkinen, who didn't get it till their 94th race. So let's go on the flip side of all this. Who's competed in the most races without getting their win? Without getting one single win at all. Not even one. So instantly people would probably go to minds of like, oh, Nick Heidfeld. He was always really up there. He was always there competing for the win, but he couldn't quite get to the top spot. For those who think that, no. The answer is actually Andrea De Serious. He actually holds the record for the most races without getting a single win. He competed in 208 races, but did not win one race. Nick Heidfeld competed in 183 races, but did not get a win. So they're the top two. For those wondering, Nico Hulkenberg and Sergio Perez are next. Then it's Romain Grosjean. They ran out the top five. So three modern day drivers are third and fourth and fifth. So, of course, with Nico Hulkenberg currently out of ride, that would mean that he will stay, and Perez and very likely Grosjean will move up as the year progresses. Next up, oh yeah, and of course, also, who competed in the most races without winning a race as a team? So yeah, there will also be drivers and team for some categories. For this, so yeah, most races that win as a team belongs to Arrows, who competed in 383 races. 383. But did not win one race. So if you put that in perspective for about this season, I think it's about 22, 23 races around that. So that would be about, about 20 years consecutively without one single win. Arrows competed in 24 seasons. Well, their last season's a bit up for debate because they kind of went a bit under. So yeah, they got the record for most starts without a win as a team or constructor, as they say in Formula One. Minardi is second with 340. Then it's Force India with 203. And then it's Lola with 146. And then Toyota with 139. While Snow current constructor is currently in the top 10, I would picture Haas as not being too far off getting into the top 10. Because 10th at the moment is Ensign with 98 races, or 98 starts. So Haas, I don't think they're too far off getting into there. And then most races without a pole. This belongs to Sergio Perez, who, as I've mentioned already, has competed in 196 races, or at least has had 179 entries and 196 starts. So, he holds the record for the most races without a pole, and then Mr. Grosjean is currently second with 166. And then we have a two-way tie for third between Martin Brundle and Johnny Herbert with 165. And then Derek Warwick is fifth with 162 entries. So Sergio Perez holds a record in Formula One. So if we compare these two, if Sergio Perez was to get a pole early on in the season, so remember, he's got 179 entries. So if we put this in perspective, if he did get a pole, he would break the record. So remember, Mark Webber's got 131, Perez currently 179. If Perez gets the pole, he sets the record. And likewise for a win. If Perez gets a win, he breaks the record. Or if Nick Heidfeld somehow comes back for another run and wins a race, he could break the record. Or, well, anyone in the top 10, if they started a race and found a team and won a race, they could break the record. So, who knows? Miracles could happen. Racing Point could dramatically improve their ability, or Haas could pull one out of the bag and win a race. Wouldn't that be something to write home about? I'm just saying. Next up, so after focusing on the races and the poles, next thing down is podiums. It's kind of what's next on the list. So, who spent the longest time before getting their first podium? This belongs to Carlos Sainz. This is the most recent record to be set, and it is by Carlos Sainz, as I said, who didn't get a podium until his 101st race. 101. 101. That's how long it took for him to get a podium. And from memory, he only got that because Lewis Hamilton got penalised for spinning Albon. Nope, he got a penalty for spinning Sainz. And then it was Albon who he raced with to the line. There we go. There's something for the history books. So yeah, Carlos Sainz broke the record for taking the longest time to get his first podium in his 101st race. Second, Martin Brundle didn't get it to his 91st race. Gasalo, third, didn't get it to his 73rd race. Jenson Button is fourth, who didn't get it to his 68th race. And then we got a tie for fifth here between Johnny Herbert and Pedro de la Rosa, who didn't get it to their 67th race. Now we got podiums before a victory. This here we got a four-way tie for who's got this record. And it belongs to four separate people. Jean Alesi, Mika Hakkinen, Eddie Irvine, and Patrick Depalia. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't really do French. So, Patrick Depalia was the first person to do this. So all four drivers did not get their first victory until after getting 15 podiums. So Depalia was the first person to do this. He got his 15th podium, or 16th podium, I'm not 100% sure, at the 1978 Monaco Grand Prix. So he was the first person to set this. Jean Alesi was the next person to do this. He won his first race at the 1995 Canadian Grand Prix. Mika Hakkinen, who's kind of the most surprising one to be on the list in a way, he got his first one at the 1997 European Grand Prix, and then Eddie Irvine was the most recent person to set this record at the 1999 Australian Grand Prix. So this to say, this is the only record that's got a four-person record, and will be the biggest tie one that we've got in this video. So who's got them? Okay, next up we got the who's taking the most races without a podium. And I reckon we know who this one is. Nico Hulkenberg. So this is why I'm calling this one the Nico Hulkenberg Award, for the driver who's taken the most races without scoring a single podium. So for those who have counted, Nico Hulkenberg has entered in 179 races and has not got one single podium to his name. Not even one. Not even a solitary podium. Adrian Sutil is second, so it's a German 1-2. He's been in 128 races, but didn't get a podium. Pierluigi Martini got the next one in 124 entries. Philippe Alliot took 116 races, but still no podium. And Pedro Diniz got 99 entries, but not one podium. So with Hulkenberg technically out of his seat, no current F1 driver is in the top 10. So I guess this kind of shows in a way that the longevity for drivers is kind of being in either you're kind of successful within your first little while, or they kind of lose patience with you and you kind of get moved on with an F2 driver or something. And now we've moved on from the drivers. Now let's talk about the teams who's entered the most races without a podium. And I think we all kind of know who this might be. Minardi, 340 starts. That's how many they've had. 340. Not one single podium. Not one. Imagine racing in 20 seasons and not getting one podium. Imagine how that would be in like an F1 game. You go through a career mode, 20 seasons, not one podium. Not even one. That's kind of the most baffling one I've got for how a team can go for 20 seasons, or maybe 21, but not get one single podium. It's really mind-blowing. Miles back is Asala, who entered 132 races. Ensign entered 98. ATS entered 89. And Haas is currently 5th, who's only entered in 83 races. So they've still got a long way to go if they want to. So at this rate, they'll reach Minardi in probably 2035, 2036, because since they now enter in more races than Minardi would have back then. Next up, we got podiums without a victory. So now people will probably guess on who this one would be. Nick Heidfeld, who in his 185 entries got 13 podiums, but not a single win. Not one. So yeah, so Nick Heidfeld has gone down as pretty much one of the best drivers who failed to win a race. And I can kind of see why. Because, well, I didn't really watch during the Schumacher era. I didn't really start watching F1 until probably... it's a bit difficult to say because the time things between Australia and everywhere else, it's normally on too late, so I don't having to go to bed before the race starts. So, but I did like to watch it when I could. So yeah, I kind of missed Heidfeld's heyday, but people have said that he was basically one of the best drivers to never win a race. And of course, it's kind of pretty much another really one factor for how he could have never ever won a race. Michael Schumacher and Ferrari's dominance back then. That's looking through. It's pretty much the only thing I can really say at that time. Stefan Jonassen is a close second. He got 12 podiums. Chris Amon is third, who got 11 podiums. Romain Grosjean is fourth. He's got 10 podiums, but no win. And then we got a three-way tie for fifth between Jean Berra, Eddie Cheever, and Martin Brundle. I thought Martin Brundle won a race. Okay. That proves how little knowledge I know from back then. So yeah, they all got 9 podiums, but not a win. So those are the drivers. Now as for a team, which team's got the most?